The Agriculture and Natural Resources Appropriations Subcommittee budget totals $6.8 billion, $1.1 billion in general revenue, and $5.7 billion in trust funds. This includes funding for 9,110 authorized positions for a net increase of 70 new positions for this upcoming fiscal year. Overall, the House budget provides a 6.9% increase over this present budget year. Here are some of the highlights of the subcommittee budget. For Everglades restoration and protection of Florida's water resources, the House budget includes over $1.2 billion in funding. This includes the following: Everglades restoration, $568.4 million. This provides $268.5 million for projects in the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan, known as SERP. $58 billion for restoration strategies. $58 million. I think I said billion. I get carried away with these numbers sometimes. $58 million for restoration strategies, $152 million for the EAA reservoir, $34.9 million for the Northern Everglades and Estuaries Protection Program, or NEP, $50 million for the Lake Okeechobee Watershed Restoration Project, and $5 million for projects which reduce agriculture nutrients to Lake Okeechobee. Wastewater grant programs of $200 million, water projects of $164.5 million. This funding provides for drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater projects at the local level. The Indian River Lagoon for $100 million. This funding will support projects that prevent or reduce the amount of nutrients going into the Indian River Lagoon. Springs restoration of $50 million. Total maximum daily loads, or TMDLs, $50 million. Alternative water supply, $50 million. Innovative technologies for harmful algae blooms, $35 million. Biscayne Bay water quality improvement, $20 million. Red Tide grants and research of $14.6 million. Water quality enhancement and accountability of $10.8 million. Coral reef protection and restoration of $21.2 million provides funding and staff to help protect, restore, and monitor coral reefs, which provide food and habitat and other marine life, as well as shoreline protection. Moving on to other areas within the subcommittee budget, we have the Resilient Florida program at $320 million, provides funding for projects included in the statewide flooding and sea level rise resilience plan from December of 2022, and $20.0 million for Resilient Florida planning and grants. Land acquisition of $251.2 million. This includes $201.2 million for DEP land acquisition programs, which $100 million is recurring, and that's historic. We've never provided as much as $100 million for recurring funds for land acquisition. Included $50 million for rural and family lands in the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. The goal of these funds is to acquire as many lands as possible that are located in the Florida Wildlife Corridor. Beach restoration projects, $200 million. This includes $50 million for continued financial assistance to local governments for beach and dune restoration, renourishment, and inlet management, plus an additional $156 million to provide continued assistance to communities across the state impaired by Hurricanes Ian and Nicole. Moving on to state parks, we provide $32.4 million for our state park system. And I'm about there, Mr. Speaker. We have the Florida Keys area of critical state concern. We provide $20 million through the Keys. Drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater revolving loan programs, $508.8 million. This is over and above what we have provided for water projects. Waste cleanup programs of $299 million. This provides $105 million for the cleanup of contaminated petroleum sites, $85 million for Piney Point closure, $10 million for dry cleaning and cleanup, $6 million for hazardous waste site cleanup, and $3 million for the small county solid waste management programs. Forestry and wildlife suppression, $29.9 million, provides $19 million for land management and $12.9 million for wildlife suppression and equipment. Citrus greening response, $18.4 million, provides $6.4 million to continue funding for the Citrus Health Response Program, $8 million for $8 million for fund citrus research and field trials, and $4 million for the citrus crop decline supplement funding. We're providing for the fish and wildlife law enforcement a much-needed $23.8 million, provides funds and additional staff to equip our wildlife officers with the resources they need to do their job effectively. We also provide Apalachicola Bay oyster restoration of $15 million. This provides funding to begin phase 2 of the Apalachicola oyster restoration project. That would include 2,000 acres. And Mr. Speaker, that is a summary of our budget.